Good afternoon. Today is September 22nd, 2025, and the time's 3 p.m. My name is Deb Glavin. I am the Contract and Procurement Specialist. And with me today, we have the Selection Advisory Committee members, the Deputy Town Manager.
Do you want me to
Oh,
introduce
sorry, I'm
myself?
sorry. We have representatives from Archaquatics with us, and the Selection Committee will introduce themselves now.
Good afternoon, I'm Tracy Kohler, Deputy Town Manager.
Jeff Hauge, Community Services Director.
Frankie Archaquatics, Community Development Director.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
We also have two representatives from Archaquatics with us. Would you guys please introduce yourselves if you can step up to the mic?
Trick Knox, Archaquatics, also International Aquatic Design.
On?
Think the microphone works.
Oh, he's coming out. Hold on.
Is it 'cause mine's on?
You've only been in here like a week, so
Oh,
we're working out the bugs.
You better know.
Not literally. Haven't seen a one in here.
All right.
testing.
Yep. Can you please reintroduce yourself?
Trip Knox, International Aquatic Consulting, and also International Archaquatics Associates.
Okay. Please.
Hi, William Taglin, Bill, Archaquatics, and William C. Taglin, Architect.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to welcome you to the interview process for the RFQ-25-10-AD, the Fort Myers Beach Engineering and Architect Services Bay Oaks Community Pool Rehabilitation Program. Bay Oaks Community Pool was severely damaged by Hurricane Ian. The project is meant to be rebuilt, an essential piece of the community's recreational facility, ensuring compliance with modern flood elevations and accessibility of standards while softening its impact in the space. The town needs a Florida licensed professional engineering firm to provide engineering, design, permitting, construction, oversight, services, rehabilitation to the community pool. This project is funded in part or in whole by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. It's a Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery, CDBG-DR. We would like to start with a series of questions for Archaquatics and ensure Archaquatics is a fit for the project. Archaquatics is the only company that submitted a proposal. Since this is a public meeting, we're gonna, is why we're having, since the questions are qualifying Archaquatics. Okay, Trip, can you please stand up and provide your background with the company? Give the town your position, background, how long you've been with Archaquatics, and any expertise you have in this area, please.
It's a good thing I got migraine headaches so that you'd all be bored. Trip Knox, been in the aquatic business for over 55 years. Started off in the business as a contractor, building swimming pools, earning my way through college. From there, went into the military service, came back home, went to work for a swimming pool company as a sales manager. From there, I moved on to Paddock Pools, one of the largest commercial pool builders in the country, and became head of their construction division. Told them I was not interested in concentrating on construction anymore. I wanted to get in more into the marketing and design portion of it. So they promoted me to sales manager. I outsold the volume of the company in 1 year, and they decided they would let me go. And at that point, I opened up International Aquatic Consulting, formerly known as International Aquatic Design. Operated that company as one of the first swimming pool consultants in the country, working for architects and engineers, supplying expertise on pools, because back in '86, the only other expertise was directly through manufacturers. From there, I developed over 150 staff in design of swimming pools and engineers. Bill Taglin came to work for me as one of my architects on the team. And then I was asked to come to Florida to take over a commercial swimming pool company called the Pool People. I ended up buying the company, Pool People Commercial, became the largest commercial pool builder in the state of Florida. That time I had some medical conditions, not like I have today, but worse. And I sold my company to a group that you may know locally, Weston and Sampson, and did my time with them. They asked me if I would mind leaving because they felt I was too expensive. And I called up my Bill. I says, Bill, what are you doing? How'd you like to go in business again? And I says, I'm presently operating International Aquatic Design. You're presently operating William Taglin Associates. I says, why don't we form our new company and take on not just a whole bunch of projects, because we're too old, but to take on individual projects that we can do a real good job on and not overwork ourselves. It's time to just do what's right, give a little feedback to the community. And that's what we did. We've been operating here now, what, 7 years, 6 years? Yeah, just completing Potter's Park for Sarasota County. We just completed design of a large equestrian water park up in Archaquatics called Terra Nova. Just bid on a project over in Miami for the Fontainebleau Hotel for a $35 million water park. And we've done a series of other designs for various high-rise pools, various municipal pools, including things that have been different than what's been done before and things that are standard. So that's sort of how we got to where we are today. I'll let Bill fill you in on his background.
Okay, thank you.
So for the record, I'm the old one, he's the young guy. So originally I was an architect in New Jersey from 1992 to 2002 is where I lived in New Jersey, and I've been in Florida ever since. I'm licensed currently in about 10 different states, and my projects range from government work. We're doing a firehouse up in New York. We have the pools that Tripp and I work together, a lot of restaurants, commercial, as well as I've always been designing most of my work by the water at the Jersey Shore and now Florida. So I'm very aware of the surroundings and the issues that arise when we live in flood zones. So currently I have about 15, 20 projects on the board. Tripp and I have collaborated on the fun ones, like he was saying. Water parks, we did a pool out in Bimini for Virgin Voyages Cruise Lines. That was cool. And we have a lot of fun with what we do. We get to be very creative, but we've been between design and construction for all these years. We know budget's very important, so we're cognizant of what things cost, and I think we've done a lot of good things together.
Okay. Now we're going to start with a bunch of questions, so I don't know which one of you want to answer. Okay, but we'll have to stand up at the counter, okay. Before we start, we want to understand Archaquatics, and that's how you bid this job. And from our research, we found that the company was inactive on Sunbiz, and then we didn't find a website under Archaquatics. And when I looked up, there's a law firm working at the address that was on the bid, on the RFQ. So there was just some kind of we just need to get a clear picture of, are you still operating under Archaquatics? Or are you operating under a different name?
So I guess that probably.
Yeah.
So after Hurricane Helene, we had to relocate and things were crazy for a long time. I will make sure it's back active on Sunbiz tomorrow. Archaquatics is the projects that we do similar like this. So I'm, like as I was saying, a licensed Florida architect. We have, as part of our team, a licensed engineer as well. These projects, we do 2 or 3 a year, I guess?
Yep.
So we do that. Now, I'm confused. Now, our office is in the middle of the Florida Studio Theater, so, but I don't think there's any lawyers in there. No. The,
1234 First Street?
Yeah, there was a law firm, I didn't put it on my notes, I'll look back, but there was a law firm on your, so we just want to make sure
oh,
we get
yeah,
everything
yeah, yeah,
cleared,
yeah.
you know?
All of our insurances are
Yeah.
up to date.
Everything's up to date?
Yeah, yeah, and well, I'll take care of the Sunbiz, but there was, if there's a search of the property, it would be the theater, and then the previous architect who I leased the building after he sold the building, his name was Guy Peterson. Sort of sounds like an attorney.
Guy Peterson?
Mm-hmm.
When they're under your name, whether it pop up too.
Oh, it should, yeah, it does on Google searches, yeah.
Can you talk more in the
I'm sorry. Yes,
microphone,
Trip was
sorry?
saying it should pop
Oh,
up. Google
I'm sorry,
searches
when-
it does.
Trip, when you talk, you have to talk into
Yeah,
the
I'm
microphone.
sorry.
Bill will be the licensee, the stamper, so it's under William Tagler.
Can you stand up when you talk, though? Sorry.
Bill is actually going to be officially the stamp on the drawings, so you can look under William Taglin at the same address, architect, and you should be able to find that. And there is a website for that as well.
Yeah. It's William C. Taglin Architect, Inc.
Yeah, because I found William Taglin, then there was a www.taglinarchitect.com with the same address. And then you also have a Studio Taglin,
Yep.
and that's in New Jersey?
That was my New Jersey. I did start an LLC down here, but I never used the name because it was my brother and myself up in New Jersey. And when I left for Florida, I didn't want to confuse people, so.
Okay. So as we go through this, and if the town decides to move on with you guys, we would have to have all of that clear.
Oh, of course.
Before we would even present this.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
Sunbiz is usually a couple days. I thought it was up to date, but I'll take
Yeah,
care of it.
no, there was another website that I looked under, and it said inactive also.
Okay.
So that's where we were just kind of confused.
Right.
Okay. So, just for the record, Bill Taglin said that he can correct Sunbiz
Yes.
and clarify some of our answers and have the insurance and everything under the correct name
Yes.
before we move forward. Okay. Now that we have that clear, we're going to start asking some questions. And so under Archaquatics, so Archaquatics, if I paraphrase, is only in existence for companies that you and Trip work together?
Yeah.
So you each have,
I'm
so
so
you.
sorry.
So
I'm not
you-
used to this.
So can you respond to that question?
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
when we, the equestrian facility for the, I think for Potter Park,
Potter Park is Archaquatics.
yes, as well. And it's just one with the bigger projects coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, all right, so that might be some of the issues that we had. So what we would need to see, and I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but you had some references.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to make sure those references are for
Oh, sure,
Archaquatics
of course.
projects.
Right.
Yeah,
And-
because when I looked up your website, it was mostly houses and different things, landscaping, and different things like that. So we just need to have the full picture so we can reevaluate everything.
Of course.
One thing on that. The references and some that have been listed in the package as well. As you know, I've been under multiple different
Right.
companies. But they are, everything is all the references are actually me, myself, or Bill. All right, they may not specifically say Archaquatics on it, but we've been under different names due to medical conditions where I had to be out and we had to break things up. And then we had to put it back together. And then we were also operating different other companies. But under the combination of the both, you'll see we can tag a reference to one or the other.
Okay. I did call one company and, which started my further background searches. When I said Archaquatics, they're like, who? And then when I said the project, they said, Taglin, look at under that. So
Okay.
that's where, and everything we looked at was either one of your two names.
Correct.
So, okay.
And that's what you're gonna find, because we actually get confused ourselves, because we've been at it so long with different companies, et cetera. But it's all, everything can be related back and shown that it comes either A or B or whatever.
So the company, though, for the record, Archaquatics, which it's bid under, or the proposal, or the RFQ came in under, that's where we need all those records to be accurate.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll say one other thing. Due to the projects that we do, and when you read the State Board of Architect laws and things, designing swimming pools has to be incidental to a business. So for insurance purposes and just warranties, things like that, it comes back to me and under my sign and seal. So that's the other reason why it's William C. Tagland Architect.
Okay. Well, we just have to, with this being a CDBG-DDR contract, there are so many regulations,
Oh, for sure.
you know, we need to follow, and
Yeah.
if the town agrees to move forward, I'm sure we'll have more going back and forth.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Okay.
We'll be
So the next question was similar size projects, and you already explained some of the projects that you have already worked for and are working with, and then Miami's big project coming up. On this community pool project, who would actually be working on it? Was it you, both of you guys? Is it support staff? If it's support staff, is there any background information we need to know about them, or?
Yeah.
The key question to us is what's the direction of the project? If the project is going to be more buildings involved, more landscaping, decking, more work that architectural would be supervising, then Bill would be more of the lead. If it's more of repair of the pools, new filtration systems, electrical treatment, et cetera, then either myself or David Savage, our engineer, would be in charge. In any case, with each profession that is required within the development of what we're going to pursue with you, we would put our best person on top for that portion of the project.
Okay, I'm gonna
But
let,
overall, without knowing any more information, I would say Bill would be the lead.
okay. Yep, please go ahead.
Again, going back to the whole licensing and everything, it is very important. It's very important that the work is done under my direct supervision. So to answer that question, Trip and I share, our office is the same. He sits up front. So we have drafting people that follow completely our direction, but all the work will be completed by Trip and myself. And then the
Okay.
engineer for site and civil work, that's part of the project.
Right,
Explain that David, as engineer, also has to have it on his paperwork, too.
Yeah, yeah.
okay. And then as we move forward in the project, it would be, you know, several meetings and explain exactly what is needed and
Yes.
what is
Yeah.
anticipated. On a project like this, again, the community pool basically was destroyed through a hurricane. It was underwater for quite a while. What is your project timeline when you design, permit, engineer a project? I mean, this isn't like a huge Miami 5-block long pool. So this is our community pool.
Oh, okay. So probably to do designs and drawings, 4 months. And then by the time we go back and forth and have meetings with whoever part of the team will be, then we'll have to do the bidding process, specifications and all that. So we'd like to throw a year. It probably could be less, but we don't want to cut ourselves short. We'd rather just be careful with that. But, before we came here today, I was walking the property. I think somebody saw us there. But I have a lot of questions that, as we move forward, I would love to ask whatever
Yes.
I can.
Yeah. All right.
And
Yeah,
one
there's,
last thing, I'm so sorry. It doesn't look, it's not only the seaward of the coastal construction line, so that should keep us away from the DEP permits. So,
Okay.
but health department, things like that, that's all goes into that timeframe.
okay. So basically, not knowing the full scope yet, you're thinking 1 year. Okay. Sorry, can you step up to the mic?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay,
We have the capability, we can start and we can move as fast as you all want to.
okay.
I'm just going basically completing Sarasota County. There's no reason why I couldn't have done the design in 4 months and had the thing out to bid. But by the time I go through all the levels and all the things, it was a year.
Okay,
So and your project is very similar to what we did there.
okay. All right. The next question is, since this is a public meeting, for the record, does Archaquatics or which company is going to hold the current Florida license to work in the state of Florida?
That will be me.
So,
William C.
and
Taglin, architect.
William Taggart, okay.
Engineering would be David Savage. And his seal would be on the drawings as well,
Okay.
for things that are out of an architect's scope.
How does Archaquatics plan to design a structure to withstand and recovery of the natural disasters, climate changes, ensure the community is one of the essential services that we have? I mean, since you said, you've been in Florida for a while, worked for coastal, what, can you provide us that it would withstand natural disasters? Is normal
Right,
type
well,
of
let's start with
disasters?
the restrooms. When I looked at the restrooms, obviously they're below the flood elevation. So we have to decide if we can renovate the structures, stay within the 50% value of the building. Luckily, those buildings are detached, so I should be able to have each building stand alone separately. I don't know if we could flood-proof the building unless you have drawings of when it was built. I guess that was maybe the 90s. And everyone says when I call municipal offices, they always say it was lost in the flood. And you guys actually have a good excuse to say, yes, the drawings were lost in the flood.
Yeah, we do have some of the drawings, but we inherited from the county, and we didn't get all of them from them.
Yeah.
So, but we do have at least the understructure
Oh,
to
that's
work
good.
with. Yeah.
That's good. The pools, they didn't look like they popped, so the ballast of the pools were good. I see, getting back to the civil aspect, walking around all the deck drains, it looks like most of that concrete's gonna have to come up, because every drain is probably full of sand. That wouldn't be a problem with the 50%. The equipment, all the pumps and everything, I would love to have them elevated, but as Tripp would tell you, there's a limit to how high you can have those. So early on in this process, once we get the go-ahead, I would sit down with the building official and make sure that we're all on the same page. And I'm looking at this building, some places you're allowed to flood-proof a structure. If I can show that the walls can withstand hydrostatic pressure of the water, 3 or 4 feet of water, then we could just do floodgates and we might be okay with that. Without knowing and without doing a lot of, forensic research as to what if the cells were filled, and I don't think it would have been back then. So we may have to fall under the 50%. So again, when we get a better scope, is like do we want to add more toilets? Or are we trying to follow the building code and the health department code? Then we'll have to just do our research and then approach it that way. I guess, again, part of the scope, looking at the slide tower, it seems that there's a significant amount of work that needs to go for the connections. There's a lot of rust. The stair sort of scared me when I looked at it. But it's nothing that we can fix. It's just we're all going to have to make sure we're on the same page as to what the overall budget is and what the scope of work is.
Okay,
So,
perfect, thank you.
We see at the beginning of the project, a lot of this is exploration, where we're gonna have to spend a lot of time exploring and finding out what is good, a lot of testing, what is still reusable, what is not available. Are the motors any good anymore? Most likely not. But we have to go in and go through the entire electrical and test everything. Once we have those testing answers, that gives us a direction for the design.
Okay, thank you. Are there any post-disaster situations that you've encountered that, lessons learned from, just little changes that you would make, or?
Just trying to think which post-disaster projects.
I'm sorry, you guys gotta come up to the mic.
I'm sorry, I should be doing that. So it depends on what the scope is. Is the idea just to put the main pool back together the way it is? Do we want to be more preventative and look if we want to add additional supports? I did see cracks in the shell, and there was plants and growth coming out. So when we do that, if it makes sense that we can go and we can either add more ballast so we don't have to worry about the pool popping, all this, a lot of it will be maintenance afterwards. No matter how many deck drains we put down, if another storm comes, we're going to have that issue. Just like you were saying, if a storm comes through the bathrooms and we're allowed to do floodgates and make sure the walls are floodproof, it should be hopefully an easy cleanup. We'll make sure the materials, the code says everything has to withstand 48 hours underwater. So obviously we'll make sure that. And then if we were doing a 50%, where you can almost put it back and you can do new stalls and we can do new wall coverings or finishes, we just want to say, well, let's do it as if we're designing it to meet
Okay.
the building code.
Yeah, and for the record, we want the pool, community park to be nicer than it is right now. So it's not gonna be what it
got
was.
some good bones to it.
Yes.
I've got the old mine working. Andrew, I was in business over in Fort Lauderdale as the pool people doing Andrew, when Andrew disaster hit, and we did many renovations of those particular projects along the beach. And then also Hugo, we were operating and doing water parks up in the Myrtle Beach area, Wild Water and Wheels and Myrtle Waves. And we had to renovate both of those after the flood disasters.
Okay,
And that's just quickly.
yeah,
And Trip was pointing out when we were walking around today, some of the equipment that's left out in the open, what was one, is a $6,000 piece of equipment.
there's a piece of equipment.
I'm sorry, can you step up to the mic? Ooh, are you okay?
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
I said, there's a piece of equipment that's worth over $6,000 to $7,000 just sitting there out in the sun, just taking beatings for no reason when it should have been pulled in and stored, but it's just sitting there.
Okay,
There's
well,
a
we'll
lot
look
to
at
do.
that, and then if we
And maybe
can
see
do
if we
something
can
with that.
Look into the budget if we can enclose some of that.
Right.
Sometimes that's cheaper than going with high-grade stainless steel and equipment. Sometimes it's cost prohibitive. So we'll be able, during the design process, to value engineer as we go along. So there won't be a surprise when prices come in.
Okay,
I
perfect.
highly recommend enclosing the pool equipment any way we possibly can.
In closing say that one more time, I'm sorry.
The pool equipment,
Are you talking about the pump room?
yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing we're gonna just redo all that anyway.
That's gonna be almost a total redo, I can.
It will be
understand.
because once we get into it a little more, there is a sinkhole in there too. I don't know if you noticed that underneath the filter tank.
The electric tank,
It sunk about 4 to 6 inches. So we're planning on redoing all of that. There wasn't really anything we can salvage at this point. It was just too far gone. It was under 10 feet of water, and it needed to be redone before the storm. So it definitely needs to be rebuilt now. So.
I have a question which will help us answer some of the future questions. Has there been a fixed budget established, a bonded amount? for construction? I
So
don't know
this
whether
is,
you can
this
answer
was
that or not.
this was basically put in for a grant through the CDBGR, federal funds.
Yes.
And we were awarded a little over $4 million for the project.
Okay, that helps us think direction.
Okay.
I noticed some of the light poles were tipped over or starting to go, and so there's a lot, I could give you a laundry list of things I would like to see if it's, we're gonna need to provide, or if that's gonna be under the cities, you know, soil borings, things like that. Definitely gonna need that to see before, when we approach how we're doing all of this. But
Okay.
we'll have time for that discussion, I'm sure.
Okay. Do you plan on using any subcontractors, or is it just going to be? I'm so,
Maybe construction, you're gonna have to use structural? Yeah, David can.
Yeah. So, no, everything, all the subcontractors would be the three of us, Tripp, David Savage, and myself.
okay,
Yeah, but if we need to get updated surveys, then we would look to you, because usually it's the clients that provide the surveys, soil borings and things, but we can tell you what we think you guys
Okay.
would need to coordinate.
Has Archaquatics worked with FEMA and CDBGDR projects in the past?
Probably not under the name of Archaquatics, but under the name of International Aquatic Design, or I know we have for under the company I used to own, which is the Pool People Commercial, and also under the name of International Design.
Okay,
Examples, we've done a lot of military work as well, besides the municipal work.
okay.
A lot of city work, Boston, New York, et cetera.
CDBGR is under HUD. The regulations, reporting, structure, it's very regimented. So we would have to work quite closely, make sure that we don't miss any steps if we move forward. And
It affects the funding if you do.
100%,
Yes, I am fully aware of that.
yes, yes.
A lot of boilerplate.
Yes. So I'll skip the next question because it was more if you had used them. And the town is committed to using DBEs, WBEs, veteran-owned. Is Archaquatics fall into any of that category?
We're veteran-owned.
Veteran-owned?
50%.
Fantastic. Okay. And then I have one last question, and this is for the selection committee. For the record, the selection committee ranks the firms in the following categories. And these categories for Archaquatics was, has the company explained the project's experience rebuilding community pools in post-disaster environment? Has the company included cutting-edge concepts, national best practices, evidence based on the community projects? Those questions are through the bid that you had submitted, and it was worth 25 points.
Okay.
The second one was 25 points, and has the company had experience with CDBGDR or federal programs? The third question was 25 points. Does the company understand complex infrastructures to withstand extreme weather? Did the company explain their technical approach? The fourth question was worth 15 points. And did the company describe past experience and supply references? Again, this is a bid, the RFQ that you submitted.
Correct.
And the last one was, is the company or subcontractors minority-owned or veteran-owned? And that equaled up to 100 points. Tracy gave you 80 points, Frankie gave you 79 points, and Jeff gave you 79 points. So now we just want to say, and I want to verify with the selection committee, that these 5 questions were the only questions that you did to rank Archaquatics. They were the only bid, or you weren't swayed by any pricing that was submitted. Can you answer yes or no? Were you swayed or were you not swayed?
I was not swayed.
I was not swayed.
And I was not swayed as well.
Okay, thank you. We needed to put that for the record. Does anyone have any questions?
I do not.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
I assume that if awarded, that we would be talking about contract initiations, which is in the boilerplate that you sent out. So we'll review that to make sure that everything looks good there. And then we would like to know when we could meet with people that are basically hands-on with the present park that you
Okay.
have. And that helps us gather a lot more additional information. And then we would come back to you and work on what you feel is a realistic schedule to get started in all of the aspects of the design, all the way through to construction.
Okay. So what's up, especially with the CDBG-DR, there again is steps and regulations that we have to follow. So like this being a public meeting for interview, the next step is if the selection committee approves Archaquatics, we would bring you back in for negotiations. That would be another public meeting or recorded. After that, then the contract, if we, again, agree on the negotiations, we would have to take it to town council reviews, and would accept the negotiations and accept the town manager to sign off on the contract. The contract that you have is not the final contract. That was sent before, we've gone through some different grant representatives with Lee County, and we're going through one with, for our planning, RFP. So what it is, it's more federal statutes that are, Florida statutes that are put in there, more signing off, you know, notary, nothing out of the ordinary, but more federal guidelines and specs that, HUD makes you follow. So it's a little bit different, but if we're moving forward, we'll have plenty of time to work through that, your legal and our legal.
Yeah, we will have actually a one person assigned in our company to handle 95% of all the paperwork package, all the way through to calling for inspections or anything else that, you know, requires to make sure that we're right on top of all of the official information and it's done properly.
Okay, great, that makes it easier for everybody.
You don't want me, you want somebody that can handle the
Yes. We have some of those people in our office that we wouldn't want running a, All right, so if there's no more questions, I'm sorry, Bill?
Just a general question about the block. So the grant, how many toilets are in each of those restrooms now? I couldn't get into the women's.
I would say the women's has, I'd say 5 maybe.
Okay.
Maybe 6. And then the men's has 3 toilets and 2 urinals, and then they have showers in each.
Okay, all right. That should be all right for code and health department, I would think.
DOH is gonna,
Yeah.
DOH is gonna require us to bring it up to code with the expenditure that you're, $4 million. We have to bring everything up to code.
Yeah, I mean, that's very important for the town to have everything up to code, that, you know, once this is done, and then anything that we can prevent it from destroying again would be perfect.
Yeah, we do have site civil on our staff, so we can handle any sanitary water, et cetera.
Okay. All right. So are we good? You guys good? All right. It is 3:39. The meeting is adjourned.